Let's go. All right, let's see if this works. Welcome back, folks, to the BRL race number 3 F2 championship here with alongside me today is Gouts and Richu. So Sarthak has taken a break today. He has some events to attend. So your commentators for today will be me, Dalvin. Richu, how's your day going today, man?
Yo, lads, how is it going?
All right, voice check is good. So Gouts, you want to do a quick voice check before we start streaming the race?
Oh yes, all good, all good. I hope everything is clear from my end.
Okay.
We'll check.
All right, Richu, you're very loud and very clear. That is nice to hear. And Gouts, you're clear as well. So I think we are clear to go into the game. And practice session has begun. So 15 minutes for the practice session before we begin the qualification, followed by the feature race and then the sprint race. So let's get into the game. So thank you everyone for tuning in. If you're live, please leave a comment about the voice, about the audio level, everything. If everything is going smooth, please let us know. If something is going wrong, please let us know as well. I'm hosting the stream for the first time, so there might be some issues. I will appreciate your comments. Thank you, and let's get into the race. Folks, you're joining us live from the United States Circuit of the Americas. It is the short layout. It is gonna be something that we have not always seen. The short layout tends to be very tricky, very high speed, and requires a lot of downforce over here compared to the traditional full long circuit. And we ride on board with our championship leader, I believe, KDB, who is setting the early lap times in practice session. Going through the left chicane here, which pretty much resembles the Singapore sling chicane. Luckily we don't have any of those in Singapore, but we still have those in USA short.
Oh yes, definitely great to be here in the USA in, what is this, round 4? Of the F2 championship?
Yes, round 4. It is round 4.
Round 4, yeah. A little confusing there because you've got multiple races in one round. So just trying to put that map together. But either way, great to be here. And yeah, as you mentioned, KDB is leading the championship quite comfortably, I might add. And honestly, doesn't look like the way he's going, doesn't look like anybody else is going to be able to take that away from him anytime soon.
Probably. However, we do have the rookies with us. NV Advik Reddy is a rookie as well, I believe, right? Or am I just losing my mind over here? I know NV is a new one. He's in the same league that I race in, so he has been challenging KDB in the previous race, in his debut race, and he won it. So KDB is definitely looking at NV as a potential threat to his championship towards the end of the season. What's your thought on those? What do you think about the rookies, man?
So, as you mentioned, NV Advik Reddy is definitely a rookie. Yes, you were right. The other rookie here is Matt Marquez, who is also new to the league. I also see another new name here, one I haven't seen before, the Cuber Abi. Is that also somebody new?
It definitely looks like someone new, unless it's one of our regular here and he has changed his name. We'll know in short moment. However,
definitely,
if it's a new guy, I think we're happy to have new people in the race, right? More spice, more drama.
100%, because let's face it, who would have imagined in the last race that somebody like Envy, I mean, because at the end of the day, nobody really knew who Envy was, and then he came up and, head on with KDB, and he actually won that feature race.
Yes.
So it's pretty amazing to see new people coming in.
Pretty unfortunate for KDB in the last race, folks. KDB had a power cut, and that pretty much ruled him out of the second half of the feature race, and pretty much, I guess, till the last 2 laps of the sprint race. So he was back in the last 2 laps, but nothing much could have been done in the last 2 laps. So KDB just salvaging some amount of points to keep his championship lead alive, and heading into USA short, and one more track next week. It's gonna be the final stretch here.
Definitely gonna be tight. Although I'm not really sure how many people are really gonna be showing up for today's race. As of now, there's 8 people in the practice lobby. Do you reckon there's gonna be a few more during the race?
There's still 5 minutes. We will know shortly. I'm not fully familiar with the participants just yet. However, I would like to see more. That will be really great to have some more people just joining in the race, and we will just like to see some drama on the track. Nothing much.
Oh, definitely. And at the same time, the reason I mentioned that is because if you've noticed in the last few races, there have been people like Only Kapi and RB Ferrello actually giving KDB at the top a pretty good fight. And to add to that, you got Mr. Vex as well, who's been doing considerably well. And yeah, a few drivers who did race the first 2 races or so, 2 rounds or so, have been a little irregular since we have some drivers freeze. We've got SV11 who didn't have the best first race and was quite unlucky in the second race as well. So was Freeze. So I mean, it's pretty disappointing to see a lot of drivers not turning up, to be honest. But at the same time, it's pretty exciting to see the battles that are actually going on at the top. Big Man Joe has really stepped up his game. He had that unfortunate disqualification in the feature race, I think was it in Bahrain?
Yeah, and a lot of lobby issues and all this good old Codemaster stuff, and yeah, sadly we can't really do much about that. Despite having the best connection, the game still would like to screw you up in some way or another.
Exactly, but I think
yeah,
true. I think the reason Big Man Joe was disqualified though was because I think he pitted during the safety car, which in F2, pitting during the safety car is not counted as a mandatory pit stop.
Yes. So that's part of the technicalities in F2, So unfortunate for him. Whereas if it was in the real F1, pitting under the safety car would still classify as a mandatory pit stop, provided you have changed to the mandatory tire. Unfortunate for him. However, we live to learn another day, or so the saying goes. Whatever the saying is, we learn today, and we, hopefully do not make the mistake tomorrow and for the future.
It ain't over till it's over.
Yeah. Saying that, Gameplay has joined, and I don't see him on the score sheet just yet, and that brings us up to 9 people in the lobby. And Envy setting the pace on the second part of the practice. Envy setting 17.5 to KDB's 17.7. So KDB might be looking to not go out again. There's only 2 minutes left on the practice session. Usually it's only 15 minutes. And on KDB's signal, the lobby will proceed to the qualifications.
Also, I think KDB's had a bit of a problem because he seems to have disconnected. We also seem to be getting the migrating host message. So KDB seems to have disconnected once again. Things definitely not going his way the past 2 weeks with the disconnections. I'm pretty sure KDB is envious of the person in P1 as he seems to be having a more stable internet connection.
Yep.
Nice.
And let's wait a moment for the game to, stop migrating the host and settle down with one of them or one of us, hopefully, so we can get this session underway. And KDB has indeed left the session. That means he has lost some connection. We will hear from him shortly. And folks, stay tuned for some more updates.
Here's to hoping this doesn't happen to KDB during the race.
Oh yeah. I mean, you want it to all happen in the practice. Any issues, any technical problems, even for us, right, guys? I mean, we are setting up the stream for first time, so we were a bit nervous, and we're just hoping everything is going fine. I see some messages in the chat, so looks like everything is going fine for the moment, and let's hope everything stays clear till the end. And we have a really good American Grand Prix here. USA always serves up a treat, and with this short layout, we can expect some amount of ding dong battles side by side, or even spins in the middle sector where it's very tight. A lot of chicanes, left, right, left, back to back, and looks like everybody's leaving the lobby. So we'll get an update on that if the lobby is going to be restarted, and stay tuned for that, folks.
I think the 15-minute mark has been hit. So, as per the rules in BRL, at least in our F2 race, they will have to retire now.
Yes.
And
so
KDB seems to have created the new lobby as well.
Alright, so perhaps we can join the new lobby? Yep,
Oh, yes.
we see
Also,
people are leaving the lobby. If we can get confirmation, we will follow on.
Definitely, and this gives me a little time to just fix a few technical issues I have at the moment.
That's
So,
great, that's great. Alright.
Just
Right,
Alright, folks.
While
It's
waiting, grab
for
your
the-
popcorn, grab your tea. We will be back in a few minutes for the qualifying and the race.
Oh,
Sorry, Richu.
I
sorry
think
for
it is
the-
time for us to join the new lobby for qualifying.
Okay, so we'll leave the current one, yeah?
so we are in the new lobby now. Just
Alright.
need to sort out a small issue.
Did someone say issue? No, sir. No, Sartak. You heard wrong. You heard wrong. It's okay, Sartak. We're all fine here. We're all fine. We're just having fun. It's just the game as always, doing the game stuff.
Okay. So, Dalvin, I will be exiting the lobby for a second. Can you please let me know when it is beginning so I can join back immediately?
Alright, sure. No problem.
I think while we are at it, fixing the issues, I think Dalvin, let us know about your thoughts about how the real life race is gonna go. Zandvoort,
Ooh.
1985 was the last race. What do you think is gonna happen?
Oh man, it's 26 years, is it? 36 years since the last race? Yeah, going by my age, I think that's probably around 36-ish. So, I think it's gonna be a real cracker. Max Verstappen is in, the prime position to get his first ever home victory, and Lewis Hamilton is very close to challenging him. However, looking at yesterday's performance in the qualifying, right? Max Verstappen had a pretty poor round out of the turn 3 banking. He double shifted due to a bump and lost about a tenth there. And also, towards the end of the lap, he lost easily another tenth because his DRS was not working, and still managed to out-qualify Lewis Hamilton. And fun fact, I guess, Lewis Hamilton's final fastest lap was equal to Max Verstappen's first flying lap in Q3. So that was just the tight margin that we were seeing on the track. Lewis Hamilton, of course, being set back in practice sessions, in practice session 1, I believe, with some engine failures, and practice 2 and 3 were pretty much cut short for him. So he did well to come back and reclaim the front row, which will give him the best chance to get into the lead. And if he can get into the lead, I think it's going to be a tough time for Max to get the win here. Saying that, I think all Max needs is a good luck and a good drive out of turn 1 to maintain the lead and win the race. What about you, man? Do you think there could be any upsets in the race today?
I mean, more than upset, I'm kind of rooting for Giovinazzi, P7, his I think best ever quali, position. So I think I'm kind of rooting for Giovinazzi, and let's see what the other guys do, like Norris, who didn't have a chance to get into Q3. So really excited, as well as excited for Pierre Gasly, P4. In that Alpha Tauri as well. So let's see. I'm really excited for the other results. Obviously, yes, Max Verstappen performing for the Orange Army, as we like to call it. And really excited.
Or like Lando likes to say, they are all here for me. With reference to the Orange fans and linking it to McLaren. So I think Norris will be happy to make a good comeback and enjoy the fans, which quote unquote are here for him. But I think Norris will be looking to just do some damage limitation in this race, because he did not have the best qualifying, as you said. Danny Rick, on the other hand, gets into the top 10 and for the first time really out qualifying his teammate by a big margin. So perhaps he's found something in the car on this weekend, or might just be a one-off. Let's hope it's a permanent thing where he starts to perform for the rest of the season.
Definitely. And,
absolutely.
I feel like if you've noticed in the past few races, Daniel Ricciardo has really stepped up where Norris hasn't been able to. So Spa, for instance, in quali, I mean, Norris was doing extremely well. He was P1 in Q1 and Q2, and then the unfortunate incident in Q3. But then Ricciardo really stepped up and he really upped his game with the P4 in qualifying.
Indeed.
So similarly, yesterday's qualifying as well, Norris was out, he was P13, but Ricciardo stepped up again and finished in the top 10. So it's good to see the drivers complementing each other. And like you mentioned.
Alright friends, let's reach you. The lobby is going to start. The countdown has begun and we are jumping into the lobby right now. So folks, here we are for the Bwoah Racing League F2 Championship, round number 4. The United States Short Grand Prix is live. Qualifying will begin and we'll soon see the cars going out on track to set their laps and claim their pole positions. KDB, Mr. Wax, UK, Big Man Joe, among the names that are favorites to claim the pole. Envy as well. And surprise, maybe today we might see some unexpected name on the pole position, hopefully. Let's get into it.
Hopefully, definitely. We always want to see something different and exciting every race. But I think favorites for now are probably Envy and KDB, I'd say. Perhaps Big Man Joe as well. Definitely a favorite to grab that pole position. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna put my money on Envy again, but I'm not gonna count out KDB as the old favorite here.
Definitely.
Alright, as we ride on board with the first few laps, Matt Marquez is out on track setting his lap, and qualifying has officially begun.
And interestingly, KDB is leading quali from the get-go. So
Oh well,
it
that's
ain't over
just,
till it's over though. Like
perhaps
we
the
said.
game is just giving us some foreshadowing of what's gonna happen, huh?
Ooh, Mr. Vex climbed in the ladder. Envy there. Not bad.
I think
Oh,
the
KDB's
timing
had a
board is
bit of a
glitching as
misstep.
always because only Matt Marquez is on track at the moment. Or am I seeing?
Okay.
this wrong? Okay. It might just be some glitch here.
Probably. So standings at least now reflect that KDB's dropped down to P5. He had a bit of a mishap and lost control of his car a little bit. I think it was a traction issue. But he seems to be steadily
Sorry,
climbing
my
back
bad.
up.
It is a one-shot qualifying, right? So that's
Yeah.
why I'm having a bit of confusion. Sorry, folks. Thank you for reminding. And alright, that might explain why the positions were shifting around. So Envy there grabs pole with a 16.0, and KDB comes in P4.
Good lap by Envy. Great lap. Consistent throughout every corner. But we do have 4 invalidations there. UK, Baby Shumi, Matt Marcus, and Mr. Vex.
Indeed.
They're definitely not going to be happy.
Envy there takes pole with a 16.0. The Cuber, his teammate there. So P1 and 2 for Sharu's racing system. And Big Ben Joe comes in P3 to challenge the front row. KDB in the second row. Gambler and Harry Rocks comes on in the third row. Advik Reddy, the only other finisher, in P7. And then the rest, Mr. Vex, Matt Marcus, Baby Shumi, and UK were disqualified for invalidating their lap. And here comes the feature race. And it is
Exciting.
raining, folks. What do we know?
Of all the things to make it more exciting, let's bring in a little rain, folks.
Yes, looking at the rain, I'm guessing whoever goes for the highest downforce settings may actually benefit from the whole race. It is a very short circuit with very tight and fast corners. Naturally, you want a bit of straight line speed to get some overtakes done on the pit straight. But looking at this weather, I think you do not want to lose any positions at any time and rather go for a stable car. Let's see who makes the best out of these wet conditions and who fails.
Definitely. It's going to be very interesting to see. I am really going to enjoy this. A race with rain is always the most unpredictable. I don't think anybody can argue with me on that.
Yep. No amount of practice can save you from all the unpredictability that's going to happen in the race. In practice sessions, you can practice pretty much on your own or with your teammates and not get collided into. But in the race, it's a different story with everyone wheel spinning off the start. And in these F2 cars, it's even more unpredictable. And you might just get hit off the line. And we are sort of predicting that's going to happen. But let's see if everyone is able to keep it clean and surprise us for a moment, for once. And I believe this is the first ever wet race we are having, right, buddy?
Yeah, yep, definitely. Good to see it finally raining. Been hoping for this since race 1.
Yep.
I mean, it's fun for us to watch this, but as a driver though, Dalvin, personally, as a driver, do you like the rain?
I really love the rain, especially ever since I got my wheel. So it has been really a life changer, I'd say. Otherwise, I hated the wets during whenever I was on the pad for the first few years of my gaming career. So some tracks more than the other I really love in the wets, but tracks like Monaco are just unbearable. It's already so slow in the dry. In the west, it's just unbearable.
So, directly in contrast to what you just said, tracks like Monaco are the ones I love in the wet.
Oh, I guess everyone has their preference, so perhaps in the dry, that'll be good.
Definitely,
Right.
definitely. It makes for more drama. So,
Yes, thank you,
So
Sartak.
everyone's-
Yes, no worries. I am hiding the menus. Thank you for the reminder. And yes, I'm just setting it up for the race. We will have a look as it goes.
yeah. I can keep the menus open on my screen to, dictate whatever information is necessary.
Okay, sure. That would be great because I'm pretty much looking at like a blank screen here. Just the cars with no overlays and anything to dictate the race.
I think you can keep the standings open, the lap counter and the standings. That I think pretty.
Oh yes, the telemetry and
Yeah.
the standings, right? Yeah, that would be good.
Standings should be good.
Spectator menu can be turned off. Yes, all right, that's turned off.
I shall turn on the rest.
Yep.
And
Right, as last car from the grid, UK on P11 lines up on the grid, and we're waiting for the 5 lights to come on. 5 lights, and away we go for the USA Short GP. A good start for Harry Rocks, looks like it. Big Man Joe dropping position, KDB up into P3. UK taking it cautiously into the first turn. Envy and his teammate take a good lead into turn 1, and he's already pulling away. KDB up into P2 there, around the outside of the Cuber.
brilliant stuff. KDB's already climbed up to P2. Lot of switching positions there. Harry Rock seems to have lost a lot of positions. He's just dropped down the order. Also, Big Man Joe and the Cuber, they've lost their positions to KDB, who seems to be making quite the climb at the moment. And Envy with a great start. He's gotten away quite rapidly.
Big Man Joe and the Cuber going for it into the slow section here. It's already pretty sketchy in the dry to drive through here, and as we see that, already has a little moment, and he gets spun around by Matt Marquez, who just taps him out of the road, and Adviredi goes for a spin here. Drops into P10. Luckily, he manages to recover, and just behind him, Matt Marquez. Karma probably for him as he spins coming into the triple right-hander here.
Oh, just sad, just sad. I mean, at the end of the day, in everyone's defense, it is raining.
Yeah.
So, and I remember the first time Mad
Aerox
Marquez
gets a move
last
done
time,
on
yeah.
Matt Marquez into the last corner. Matt Marquez runs wide as a result, and Matt Marquez seems to be having some damage. He boxes for the first lap. Up ahead, MB
Definitely.
and KDB about 2 seconds gap, and as always, our beloved timing glitch is back.
Okay, I think the timing glitch is a bit annoying. Seems to be fine on my screen, so I think the closest battles at the moment are between Big Man Joe and KDB. Big Man Joe making quite the stride, and
Indeed.
Envy has pulled away quite a lot. KDB seems to be struggling in the rain as well. He's moving around quite erratically on track. He seems to be losing his rear quite a lot, is what I meant to say.
Yes, and he's under pressure from Big Man Joe. Although it's pretty close between P1, 2 and 3. 2 seconds separating 1 and 2. Big Man Joe within a second of KDB. No DRS in the wets, so everything has to be done on pure skills and car performance alone. Who will perform better depends on the car, depends on the driver. And some battles are forming at the back. P4, 5 and 6 are bunching up together. P7 as well. So there's 2 different groups forming here. And then Baby
Definitely.
Shumi is all alone in the middle. Adviredi is pretty far from the pack as well. Harry Rocks and Mad Marquez up, in their own territory at the moment. Right in front though,
for now.
Envy stretching his lead up to 4.5 seconds.
And Big Man Joe really putting KDB under pressure, and Mr. Vex and UK as well. I think UK so far has been the biggest winner of all this. He seems to have climbed the most number of positions right from the bottom. He's up to P7 now. And I think UK and Mr. Oh, speaking of which, the Cuba Abi has just had a spin, an unfortunate spin. And which means Mr. Vex and UK get that position, which means the pressure they were putting on the Cuba Abi has actually worked in their favor.
The rookie there falling under pressure in the wets. Not the best race you want to be starting on, I guess. Not good for your confidence. However, still long way to go in the race, and he will be looking to recover for some good positions here.
Definitely. And UK and Mr. Vex, this battle is really incredible. Mr. Vex under a huge amount of pressure with the time penalty he's just received, and UK making that move stick. What a move that was.
But UK stays slightly ahead into the triple right-hander. It's very sketchy. You can see these cars are struggling in the triple right-hander to maintain traction and grip. And Mr. Vex just keeps his cool for the time being and stays behind UK.
Yo guys, a bit of news from the race start. It was indeed Harry Rocks who we saw spun out after the turn 1, and that was because after speaking to him, he said that he was squeezed by the drivers behind him and he had nowhere to go, which made him go off track and instead lose traction while exiting the corner. So that is why Harry Rocks has lost 4 positions. And speaking of losing positions, it was Mad Marquez who went for that early pit stop, considering he's got some damage onto his car. So yep, as we watch on.
Sorry to interrupt, but Big Man Joe, I think it looks really close right now. KDB is under an immense amount of pressure, and he seems to be making quite a lot of mistakes, and I think the move from Big Man Joe is going to be made anytime soon. And there Marc Marquez has had another spin. He's been lapped as well. He's definitely not enjoying the rain. It's quite evident.
Yep, KDB here losing a lot of time to Envy every lap that he's stuck. I mean, every lap that Big Man Joe is stuck behind KDB, Envy's just getting away and setting fastest lap after fastest lap, getting more comfortable with the conditions here. KDB now 7.5 seconds behind Envy. It looks like probably a P2 for him, but we're not so sure just yet. Pit stops will be coming soon. One mandatory pit stop needs to be done, if I'm right. Might not be the case in the wets. I'm not so familiar with F2, but let's see if these gentlemen are going to make some stops here.
Definitely. I'm not really sure as well, so we just have to wait and watch, huh? And speaking of which, Mr. Vex and UK, that gap seems to be increasing. So I have a small feeling that battle is probably over for now. I think the only one on track that we need to be looking at the moment is probably the one between Big Man Joe and KDB. And they really seem to be going at it. Mr. Vex though, there are some corners.
He picks up a 3-second penalty, runs wide, and Mr. Vex, just in time to ride on board with him, gets the move done on UK. UK though still hangs around the inside, goes side by side with him. And
what a battle this is. They're just trading positions. This is incredible. Mr. Vex doing well there. UK
gets the move
given a lot of space.
Side by side,
the switch
goes ahead of UK and gets the move done. UK now back into P6, has to settle behind Mr. Vex for now, and the battle seems to be continuing while they are slowly catching up to Gambler up front. I have a feeling that if they constantly battle, they might be losing time here. And runs wide again. UK goes down the inside this time on Mr. Vex into the final corner, and Mr. Vex seems to be struggling a little bit towards the first half of this race.
Definitely, I think Mr. Vex had a bit of an issue at the final corner. seems to have lost a bit of traction perhaps.
The leader Envy picks up a 3-second penalty, which might be a bit of a relief for KDB. So that means he just needs to close up the 6-second gap right now. Big Man Joe
I
though.
think at the moment at least, the way things are going, I don't think KDB is really going to be able to catch up to Envy, who seems to be making at least a second a lap to KDB.
Yep. Big Man Joe, however, still behind KDB, 1 second, not letting him out of sight. And magically, KDB seem to have gained about 2 seconds here. Envy probably struggling with tires now. Let's ride on board with him for a lap and see perhaps if it's starting to lose some performance on the tires. As we see a yellow in sector 2. That's Baby Shumi who has spun in the middle sector. And Matt Marquez as well, having a spin. So everyone is having a bad time, having some struggles with the weather here.
To be honest, I don't think anybody really expected the rain, for one thing. And for another, everybody's so used to driving the F1 cars in the rain. I don't really think they're really very used to driving the F2 cars in the rain, which could explain why they're really struggling. And Mad Marquez, as we speak of struggling, Mad Marquez seems to be, he's hardly able to keep it on track.
Yeah,
and he
seems to be serving up with some donuts for us here. So folks, there you go, some donuts for us to enjoy while there's not really much on track battle going on. I think Mad Marquez is doing us a treat by just having some donuts on track here. So he seems to be having a good time here, I guess. Probably just trying to call off the race, and he retires on track, and probably he has enough of this race.
Definitely. I don't know if he's been told, but retiring on track is an offense.
Indeed, and hopefully that doesn't bring out the safety car or VSC, which might anger some of them up front.
Definitely.
And it looks
I think
like
Envy will be the most frustrated.
KDB has dropped back. Not sure if he made a pit stop here. And let's quickly have a look if he has made a pit stop here. And no, it looks like KDB dropped back. Had a spin in the middle sectors probably. He's now 19 seconds behind Envy. Big Man
Yes,
Joe
he has.
resumes the P2 now. And that just goes
He
from
definitely
bad
lost.
to worse for KDB here.
Quite a lot of time lost to Big Man Joe as well. So the pressure that Big Man Joe was putting on KDB was definitely working. It's definitely worked, clearly. And it's good to see Big Man Joe fighting at the top there. Let's see if he's able to close that gap to our leader, Envy. But Big Man Joe, to be honest, seems to be doing quite a good job keeping that gap between himself and Envy. And,
Now that he has
I think he's
clear
steadily
air,
climbing.
he is actually starting to recover the positions here. So Big Man Joe, with 9 laps to go, I think he has a shot at winning the race. And he only has to be within 3 seconds of Envy with the 3-second penalties that Envy is carrying. So I guess Big Man Joe is really looking like a favorite to challenge for P1 today.
Oh, definitely. I mean, all he needs to do is get within 3 seconds, and I think it's game, set, and match. There are the half the race is still remaining, and the way he's climbing at the moment.
Yep. Speaking of penalties, a quick update here. Envy in P1 has a 3-second penalty. UK in P5 carries a 3-second penalty as well. Mr. Wex right behind him carries 6 seconds. And down below, Baby Shumi and Advik Reddy in P8 and 9 respectively, each of them having 3 seconds of penalty. So a little more cautious looking like from the drivers today. However, penalties are still not far away for each of them. One slight corner cut, one extension, and you might be getting another warning there.
Definitely. And let's see if Big Man Joe. Okay, Big Man Joe seems to be dropping back now again to Envy. Not what we want to see, obviously. But UK on the back of Gambler is about to make quite a move
to the SS. This is pretty commonplace to make a mistake. Gambler running slightly wide there. UK takes a tighter line, takes a wider line and through. and onto the mini back straight, or in the full race it's pretty much the longest back straight that we know, and unable to make the move here. The rain does seem to be lightening up, so will we see a transition to the intermediate tires very soon? Let's hope so, and perhaps some of these drivers may have realized the pace, or it's just the game that is showing us the light drizzles.
Definitely. Also, perhaps, with 6 laps to go, intermediates, the track still looks very, very wet. So, depending on how much the track drives, let's see what our best friend Jeff instructs the drivers to do.
Yes, Jeff always comes up sometimes with the best strategies, sometimes the obvious worst ones that we want to avoid. However, during the transition between weathers, I think Jeff is at his best. And if these drivers are getting any indication from Jeff that the track is drying up, or there's a change to intermediates or dries, I think we will likely see someone making the dive into the pits for that gamble. And speaking of gambler under attack from UK once again. UK looking for that P4, very close into Gambler, taps the rear of Gambler into the SS, and Gambler runs wide, has a spin, and Gambler may not be so happy with that. UK
Definitely not.
claims the P4
That did look
one way
like,
or another.
That did look like a minor touch. I was just about to say how UK and Big Man Joe have been playing the smart game so far. By putting the drivers in front under pressure and not making any reckless moves. But it's a little disappointing to see that minor touch. Of course, nothing malicious, obviously. But in the wet, it did cost Gambler 2 positions.
Indeed, and breaking points, everything seems to be... I just have to stop you them. KDB has another incident into the triple right-hander. I believe he might have had a spin, and he drops to P5. UK and Mr. Vex up into P3 and 4 for now. KDB, his day is just going from bad to worse, and probably even worse right now, and he is really struggling in these conditions. Only a safety car might be able to save him. He is squiggling all around the track, and he's not having a good day, is he?
Definitely. I think the best thing for KDB to do right now is to try and keep within 3 seconds of UK, because UK and Mr. Vex both have their penalties are quite significant. So if KDB can just keep that gap to them, I think he should be fine. But it's kind of weird to see why KDB is struggling today. I don't know if it's perhaps a need. Oh, speaking of which, KDB gets a 3 second. It's just not his day. Definitely not his day.
I think he might be looking for a comeback in the sprint race. In the meantime here, we are riding on board on the rear view camera of UK. Under attack from Mr. Vex. Not really under attack, I would say, given that it's the wets, and 0.6 of a second is a pretty big gap in the wets. But heading into the slow section of the track, where mistakes are common, Mr. Vex almost looks down the inside. UK keeps his P3 for now, and his experience, his patience is paying off. P11 to P3. UK is doing the job that he needs to do in the wets to keep his position.
Definitely, and I think the smart thing for Vex to do right now is stay behind UK, put that pressure on, wait for UK to make a mistake, because it's gonna happen. It happens to the best of them. And we saw KDB making mistakes, so it is definitely gonna happen.
KDB not too far off P3 and 4, so he might be looking to
Big Man
join the
Joe
pack.
seems to have had a bit of an issue. He was on the gravel. He did lose quite some time to UK.
Yep.
On the gravel, I think he perhaps lost his car.
He is looking fine right now. However, might be some tire issues, or just some laps of concentration. 16 laps in the wets in USA short. I think with lack of practice, it's not something that everyone is used to. Still though, he has a 20-second gap to UK, which might be just the buffer he needs to bring it home in P2 right now. And be up ahead, still with a 3-second penalty. keeps it clean. He has the 15-second buffer to Big Man Joe as well. It's looking pretty comfortable for P1 and 2 to bring it home. But right behind, battle brewing for P3 between UK, Mr. Wex and KDB. KDB looking for some redemption here. A podium here will be very, very interested.
Definitely, but given the time penalties that KDB has just received, maybe a bit of a stretch because UK seems to be going quite steadily. I think UK has the right mindset at the moment. Let's not take any risks. Let's just carry on as usual so that
Mr.
Vex is waiting for you to make this.
Mr. Vex has a 6-second and KDB has a 3. So as it seems, if it finishes like this, KDB will claim the P4, provided that the guys ahead do not take any more penalties. So UK has to keep it clean up front and to not get any more penalties. Otherwise, he will be losing his position to KDB here. And we got a question from the chat. Sartak is asking, don't they have to pit at all? I think no, Sartak, because it is raining. So it might be the same rule as F1. If it's rain, you do not have to make a mandatory pit stop. It seems to be the case. If it isn't, I think we might be seeing everyone diving in for the pit stops in the last 3 laps if they get a warning. And yeah, usually there's a three laps warning given if you're not pitted yet. But we might just see that maybe in the next lap or 2. Otherwise, we're gonna assume that there's no mandatory pit stop required in the wets.
Definitely. But what would be fun to see is 10 disqualifications, assuming they don't pit. That would be really hilarious. If, of course, the pit stop is not necessary, then things will go well. Harry Rocks has been lapped and he seems to be struggling a little as well.
Yep, I think struggling is not a word that we are too shy to use today, because everyone seems to be struggling for traction and grip everywhere throughout the circuit, and the wet weather just pretty much shows you who are the best ones, right?
Definitely. It's a real test of skill. Glad to see. Mad Marcus in the chat says, I will get him in the next race today. It's very good to see that kind of determination. It's really good. I really hope he does well in the next race.
Yes, let's hope his race stays dry as well, so everyone gets a chance to show their skills. And Envy here, I saw him doing a purple middle sector, probably going for another fastest lap, and he does it. 2/10 faster than his previous fastest, and he clocks in a 29.5. What a performance has it been from this rookie, just dominating the field, showing the experienced ones how to do it in the rain. And 2 laps to go, I think Envy now could slow down to bring it home.
Envy has definitely impressed. He has impressed from the time he got into the league. He has been extremely impressive. It's really fun to see. We actually, if you remember, we thought there'd be a pretty intense battle between Envy and KDB, but Envy seems to be running away with it.
And,
quite comfortably.
Picks up another 3-second penalty there, Envy, but that may not matter, as he has a 21-second gap to Big Man Joe. All Envy has to do is keep it clean to bring it home and get a win in the feature race over here. And battle still brews for P3. UK, KDB and Mr. Wex are in the fight here. So not shy of making a move. I guess any of these 3, they will make a move if needed. But I think everyone wants to keep it safe and bring it home, take it into the feature, take it into the sprint race. Mr. Vex getting very close to UK up front here, and let's ride on board with UK. As you can see, Mr. Vex and KDB are so close to him on the back. And final lap begins as Envy crosses the finish line. So a lap and a half to go for Mr. Vex and KDB to make any sort of moves if they want to. And UK to defend his position. Gets a bit squiggly. Mr. Vex still within the dirty air. Nothing he could do. It's just a train here. And unfortunately, they're gonna fight another lap.
But it's I think from KDB's point of view, the only person who's smiling right now is KDB. Because all he needs to do is wait for either of them to make a mistake, and that's 2 free positions. Even if they don't make a mistake, and by the end of this lap, he's still going to finish ahead
Mr.
of
Wax
them.
goes for the move down the inside, and
He gets
almost
it
makes a
done
mistake.
in a pretty good move, but let's see if UK can take it back. That was a good move by Mr. Vex. UK conceding a good amount of space there. Some would say a lot more than necessary, but a good move by Mr. Vex.
Perhaps
At the end of the
just
day, if he can't
looking at the penalties, I
pull
guess.
away, yeah, if he can't pull away 3 seconds, it isn't gonna matter.
KDB now sniffs an opportunity for an overtake on UK, and it looks very close between these three into the final sector. And as we speak, Envy is across the line. He will finish in P1. Sadly, we're not riding on board with him. There is an interesting battle brewing up for P3 here, and we will be crossing the finishing line with this tree as well very soon. Big Man Joe across the final corner takes P2 and sets the fastest lap in the time as well, 29.2. And I think that'll be something to brag about for today.
Oh,
Into the
definitely.
last 2 corners, Wax, UK and KDB. I think this is move done, game over.
Definitely.
And UK though, very
Definitely.
close to tapping Mr. Wax on the rear.
Very
But
close.
they
Very
will
close.
come home to finish the race. UK takes the P3 and KDB takes P4. Mr. Wax drops to P5 after the additional 3-second penalty that he picked up. And final few drivers to cross the line. Baby Shumi and the Cuber are
game.
rounding up the last few corners. Well managed by everyone to keep it keep it clean. No incidents in the feature race, which is kind of odd to see.
Especially in the rain.
Yeah, that's very true. And the Cuber on his rookie race comes along and finishes in P7. He will assume P2 in the sprint race. Baby Shumi takes P8, will be starting P1 in the sprint race as well. So that's the end of the feature race, folks. And that's a bit of a breather for us now. I guess we can just take a sip or two of water or tea and grab some more snacks before the sprint race
Definitely.
begins.
And also UK taking the driver of the day. Very well deserved. He started dead last if I'm not wrong. So very well deserved driver of the day for him. Okay. Seems to be loading on my screen. Okay, we're back. I'm just waiting for the day our friends at Codemasters, decide to fix every single issue. There is.
Oh,
What do you reckon? Another 5, maybe 6 years?
yeah, probably they'll take it will be until like F1 2030 for them to fix the safety car bugs, and maybe 2040 for fixing online.
Definitely.
But I'm really looking forward to the improvements that they can make for the next race. Not next race. I mean for the next game. Given that there's a bigger budget coming in from EA. So hopefully the online system gets revamped for a bit of better netcode, and we can enjoy a bit of better side-by-side racing as we can enjoy like in other game series like Assetto Corsa or ACC iRacing. That's just something that is lacking in the F1 games right now, and as F1 game is gaining more traction with esports and league races, there's more and more frustration coming from Twitter for better game and better improvements as well. So let's hope Codemasters and EA can work together with the players for a better game, and give us a better experience as well. A bit of a rant, folks, sorry for that, but I'm sure everyone shares the same sentiments when it comes to the F1 games. It's our beloved game.
Definitely.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we always come back to it because we love it.
Yep, it's like a love-hate relationship, you hate it, you love it, and at the end of the day you still gotta come home. It's like family, you have arguments with your family, you have arguments with your siblings. At the end of the day, it still make up to them, and you come home and have a good day. And speaking of good day, it looks like it is
It's a dry session.
session. Yes. Wishes do come
Let's
true,
go.
Matt Marquez. Yes, they do, Matt Marquez. Let's hope we have a good race, Matt Marquez. You're gonna be starting last, remember, right? But make sure you do a good one, and perhaps a podium is there for you if you keep it clean. Everyone up ahead
Definitely.
are gonna be looking for some redemption as well, and KDB probably being the one who's gonna be feeling the biggest pressure here.
And also from the previous races that we've seen, I was telling UK in in the voice channel recently that perhaps the best position to start is last because of all the incidents that happen up front. It's a few
Yes.
free positions that you'll gain without putting in any effort, and he ended up P3 today or P4. So starting last did work out.
Alright.
So let's hope for the best
Formation
for
lap
Matt
begins. Sartak is already putting on a commentator's curse from the comments section. He's saying everyone will run out of fuel on the final lap at the end of sector 1. Just watch for that. We might see that.
Wow.
We may not see that happen, but thank you, Sartak, for the prediction, I'd say, before the race begins. And let's have a look here. So there will not be any mandatory stops for the sprint race here, and everyone is starting on the medium tires, which means they can go till the end of the race without any tire issues, and rightfully so. They want to keep it clean to avoid any incidents. And let's bring up our menus, get it ready for the race, and let's enjoy this formation lap. Baby Shimi seems to be going oddly fast for a formation lap, getting a big gap out. He might want to slow down at the end
Definitely.
to warm up his tires a bit more. However, knowing him, he might want to replicate the Shumi, and perhaps he just wants to get it done quickly. Perhaps it is the best way to warm up the tires by going fast. It's something that we may not know. I have not raced F2 cars for a very, very long time, apart from the start of the game. Not anymore.
Definitely. And Envy will be looking to grab this win again. But then again, KDB is starting ahead of him. So, again, as everyone says, catching up to a car is one thing and overtaking that car is another. Let's see how this goes. I'm sure in a dry session, KDB is definitely going to be a lot more challenging than he was in the previous session.
Yep. And given that
here's to hoping-
it is a shorter circuit, so overtaking is slightly difficult with the shorter straight, the longest straight being the short pit straight here, and
Definitely.
yeah, and
Also,
it's true,
here's to
the
hoping
5
that
laps.
Baby Shumi has a very good start. Let's see how it goes.
Alright, 5 lights are coming on. 4, 5 lights. And away we go. Everybody gets a good start off the track. And KDB seems to be making a good start, going on to P4 around the outside. And avoids the carnage on the inside. Goes up into P4, into P3. And someone at the back.
Incidents at the back.
Matt Marquez has a spin. And UK has dropped position to P10 as well. But I think he might be looking for a quick comeback here.
Definitely. Big Man Joe seems to have lost a couple of positions as well. Oh, and the front part. And there's
a lot of carnage.
collision there.
Got it on the right time.
Oh, that was rough to watch. I think that was Harry Rocks and Advik Reddy, I think, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
Harry Rocks
Cars
seems to have
involved.
lost an end plate as well.
KDB up into P3 now. Envy getting caught in the incident is still down in P7, and he may be looking at the gaps already. 11 laps to race. Up front, the Cuber takes the lead. Baby Shumi drops to P4. Mr. Max up into P2. KDB takes the P3, and it's still looking pretty tight in the dry race. Everyone seems to be more confident in the dries here with the track conditions. I think you'll be able to lay down the power much sooner, and looks like
Harry
everyone.
Rocks picking up a penalty there.
Yep,
He's definitely
that's
under immense pressure. That is something definitely not right.
And as always,
I'd
our
assume
times
he has
are
significant damage, but he hasn't dived into the pits
could be.
yet.
Matt Marquez is ready into the pits, so that's not the start that he was looking to have. And that might be another P11 on his way, unless if someone else wins it, and he may have a fighting chance.
Definitely. But at the end of the day, nobody else is going to pit unless they have significant damage, given it's a sprint race. Gambler, on the other hand, seems to have damage as well, if I'm not wrong. No, he seems fine. I think it was Advik Reddy whose wings, I saw his end plate, both his end plates seem to be missing. Or one of his end plates, at least the left, is missing.
Could be,
so
and he is like 5 seconds behind UK, so he might be losing a lot of time. Envy here, going for a move down the inside of Gambler into the triple right-hander. We'll be looking to defend it down the inside. Envy goes for the cutback, goes for the move down the inside into turn 1, side by side into turn 1, and it's a drag race. Envy gets a better exit and goes ahead into P5.
Definitely. But Gambler doesn't seem to be giving up here. He's going wheel to wheel.
KDB
but Envy does have the inside line.
Side by side with Mr. Vex. Mr. Vex concedes the position and KDB up into P2. And KDB back into a position where he likes the most, in the front of the grid with no issues. And it's catching the Cubo very, very quickly. Half a second close, more than half a second close by the end of sector 1. And Big Man Joe picks up 3-second penalty there.
Which is a very rare sight to see. You don't see Big Man Joe pick up any penalties. Wonder what happened there. Perhaps he was pushed wide.
Baby Shumi around the outside, goes for a cutback. Side by side. And there
makes it stick.
Makes it stick. Big Man Joe goes for
What
a big
move.
man dive
but Big
there.
Man Joe!
Up into P5. Baby Shumi caught off
Big
guard by
Man
that.
Joe does not cease to impress.
Baby Shumi though,
Definitely.
not giving
and
up,
Baby
goes down
Shumi
the
giving
inside.
quite a good fight. Good to see that. Good to see Baby Shumi fighting back.
UK needs an opportunity, goes down the inside of Baby Shumi as well. Baby Shumi is not having a good day now. Gambler is on the back of Baby Shumi as well. And as DRS gets enabled, I think the battle will resume in another lap. Up ahead, KDB is within a second of the Cuba, and that means KDB will be within DRS range of the Cuba coming into the next straight.
Definitely. He'll have everything he needs. He'll have DRS. He'll be feeding off the slipstream of the Cuba. And let's just say we're gonna see KDB in P1 in less than a lap, perhaps.
Indeed.
I do not want to be the one jinxing anyone today.
Yep. And
I prefer it if Sarthak takes all the blame for that.
yeah. Let's blame it on Sarthak, yeah, for the commentator's curse. Well, as the battles start to unravel, the gaps start to build up. Some gaps are closing in. Envy is now within 2 seconds of Mr. Vex and is closing up to the lead pack of P1, 2, and 3. So it's going to be a four-man train soon.
And Baby Shumi and Gambler going wheel to wheel. Sorry to cut you off there, but that seems to be an intense battle, going wheel to wheel, trading positions. And Gambler came out on top.
Keeps it clean, but Baby Shumi will get the DRS. Looks for a move.
He will have DRS. Oh no, I think Gambler was he was in the detection zone at the time. So unfortunate timing for Baby Shumi, definitely unfortunate timing. But what a battle that was. I feel like this is going to continue throughout the race. Baby Shumi cutting time to Gambler on the corners. And KDB also very close on the Cuba Abi. Surprisingly still not made that move yet. And Envy very close behind Mr. Vex. This is not going to be a fun battle for Mr. Vex. It's going to be under immense pressure.
Mr. Vex keeps Envy behind, the longer KDB has time to make a gap. And KDB seems to have spun out of from P2, and that just makes his weekend go from bad to worse. Once again, another mistake by KDB, spinning into the triple right-hander at the exit, and now he ends up behind Envy. And KDB once again looking at a similar side from the feature race, stuck behind Envy there. He's going to make a move on Mr. Vex. That's right on board with the red cam of Mr. Vex here. Easy move incoming. Envy goes around the outside.
On the outside.
And clearly gets it done.
Oh, that was,
Almost
yep.
had
That
contact,
was
but
quite a simple
fair,
move.
fair play by both of them. Enough respect, leaving enough space. KDB ready to pounce on Mr. Vex. However, this is just the
Definitely.
opportunity that Envy needs to pull away. 1-2 for the teammates, and it seems to be a good championship for them today.
Oh, definitely. And it's just nightmare after nightmare for Mr. Vex as he picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Yep. Although KDB will be looking to get past Mr. Vex very soon to hopefully keep up with Envy and pressure him into a mistake or enter a battle. Envy catching up to his teammate now. Less than 4 seconds. He cut the gap by more than half a second in that sector alone. Envy is looking like he might be challenging for the win towards the end of the race.
Definitely. And KDB as well, very close on the tail of Mr. Vex. He will have DRS on the next straight. On the DRS straight.
Loses the DRS to Envy. KDB very, very close. Gets a tight entry and exit. Looks like
DRS
on the way.
wings open. Let's see how it goes. And doesn't see. I think Mr. Vex had a pretty good exit.
KDB just
And he dives down
goes
the
for it.
inside. Is there contact? Oh, KDB
Slight
loses the
contact
rear a little.
And is losing his rear on the exit. Might be a very, very loose setup by the looks of it. It is costing KDB a lot of time and a lot of positions. And Marquez here getting left. His ghost car gets in the way, disrupts the vision a little bit. Mr. Vex seems to be distracted slightly. KDB picks up a 3-second penalty as well.
KDB picks
Everyone
it.
has a 3-second
Last thing
penalty
he
now.
needed. Except the Cuba Ravi.
Yep.
Who, to be honest, is looking like he's in the best position, even though Envy is really cutting time to him. To be honest, I feel like Cuba Abi is in the best position. He's got no penalties, he's got a 2.5 second gap to Envy and just 4 laps left. So assuming Envy does overtake him, which he might soon, the way he's cutting time to him, he still has a 3-second buffer to win this race. So
Yep.
I think the way things are going, pretty good to see Abi doing well.
Yep.
Another
And,
rookie.
Another rookie for the race, and looks good. And as we speak about the rookie, the other rookie in the same team, Envy sets the fastest lap and is now within 2 seconds of his teammate. 4 laps to go, including this. Envy will need to catch up to his teammate, get the overtake done, and pull 3 seconds in order to win. But the Cuban seems to be in control for the time being. Just has to keep clean till the end. Big Man Joe
And,
now
KDB
catching
there,
up to
losing time
KDB.
to-
These two big men are probably going to fighting it out for P3 as well.
Definitely. And he seems to be losing time to Mr. Vex as well. Mr. Vex has pulled away quite significantly. But KDB will be within DRS range once again. But so will Big Man Joe. So this does not help KDB in any way. Getting close. Big Man Joe on the tail. Oh my god. Oh, Big Man Joe.
KDB
Very close
gets
now.
another
All he has to
3-second
do is-
penalty.
There you go,
That's
pressure.
the opportunity that Big Man Joe needs to overtake him on track and get ahead. And that clears Envy from the threat of Mr. Vex and KDB for the time being.
Big Man Joe has a 6-second time penalty as well, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this progresses. KDB is at quite a significant distance from Mr. Vex. I don't think he'll be able to make a move this lap.
And Mr. Vex seems to be getting very good exits out of the final corner, and which is keeping him safe from KDB for the time being.
Definitely. And Mr. Vex also has a lesser time penalty than KDB, so even if KDB does get ahead of Mr. Vex, he still needs to clear 3 seconds of Mr. Vex to be able to keep that position. So things looking good for the Cuba Rabi, Envy and Mr. Vex at the moment.
Although speaking of that, KDB gets very close, probably looking for a move on Mr. Vex. Can he get a good exit though? He has been struggling with exits for the whole race today. Mr. Vex
Definitely.
keeps it
Perhaps
slightly
it's a
ahead.
setup?
Could be a very loose setup. It looks like, as we speak about the setup, I think KDB is just probably not happy with the setup today.
Definitely. And KDB is just sticking to Mr. Vex, hoping to get a better exit at the final corner so he can finally make that move stick this time. And Mr. Vex
Very
can face
close.
all the pressure from
On
Big
his
Man Joe.
gearbox. and he might actually go for a move down the inside into
down the
turn
inside.
1. Side by side
Oh,
as
what
well
a move.
with Big Man Joe. You can see the battle brewing up front. KDB going to challenge
Evil
Mr.
ideas.
Vex. Looks like a dive bomb incoming into
Awesome.
turn 1. Mr. Vex.
Oh, and what a
Oh,
move down
that's
the
a
inside.
nice move there as we get
Oh,
a
but
POV.
KDB spins. He loses traction.
Has
It's not going his way.
with
is
Big
it?
Man Joe, and this is a pretty big
And
big
Envy
battle going
spins.
on.
Envy has a spin. Envy has
Envy,
dropped
oh
positions.
no, Envy. That drops him down into P6. That was going all good for Envy until then. And I suspect there might have been some contact with his teammate probably, or he just might have had a bad turn there.
Yeah, I think it looked like he lost his rear as well, and seems like everyone's gotten their setups wrong today.
Yep. And
Especially the fastest guys
the
on
battle
track.
for P3 gets even exciting now as UK joins the pack here. It's a 4-man fight for P3. Everyone is
And-
looking for that coveted P3 and P2 here.
And UK has that time penalty advantage there.
Yep. As things stands, UK might actually just jump KDB and Big Man Joe into P3 at the end of the race. Big Man Joe picks up another 3-second penalty, which might just rule him out of the podium contention for today. The Cuba up ahead begins his last lap with a 7-second lead. The battle though for P3 and P2 is still pretty tight. Mr. Vex gets another good exit, keeps the lead into the turn 1. KDB struggling to get a good exit there.
Definitely struggling. KDB is not having the best of races, that's for sure. But I think the smart thing to do for all of these drivers now is to hold position, especially for UK, because at the end of the day, as things stand, UK is potentially P3.
KDB goes down the inside of Mr. Vex for a move onto P2. That may not matter that much as Mr.
And
Vex
Big Man
has a
Joe
penalty.
spins. Big Man Joe has a spin.
That's a big man spinning off the track. Unfortunate for him, but he already has 9-second penalties. I think he's pretty much losing concentration here. KDB keeps
Definitely.
P2 now. Mr. Vex within 3 seconds right now. UK as well is looking in the prime position to steal away P3 from KDB. Mr. Vex might just come home to get the P2.
P2.
The Cuba Avi finishes the race, gets his debut win. KDB crosses line P2 but will drop to P4 at the end of it. UK, what a performance by him. Another P3 picked up by UK, and that's a good race. Envy comes home in P5 after an incident in the second last lap. Gambler brings home the P6, baby Shumi in 7. Big Man Joe, what a drive by him, but sadly penalties and mistakes at the end costed him the podium. He comes home in P8.
Definitely, and as it stands, I think UK has made a brilliant climb once again. If you'll remember, I think because of a bit of an incident, he started last at the beginning of this race. He was at the bottom and he's finished P3 once again. So I think UK has taken my advice quite seriously and seems to be working out in his favor.
Yep, and
You're welcome, UK.
clean,
If you're
correct,
watching the
yeah.
stream later, you're welcome.
Harry Rocks, there we go. Comes home in P9 and Advik Reddy comes across the line, takes the P10, gets promoted to P9 after penalties. And folks, that's the end of it. And what a weekend it has been. Rain in the sprint feature race, and then followed by a dry sprint race which was filled with incidents as well. And our champions here, 1, 2, 3. What a win for Abi here. A debut win for him. UK comes home to take the P3 as well, and I think everyone is gonna be happy, and there might be some unhappy faces, especially KDB and Envy, given that they were at one time in contention for the win, but just making one slight mistake and it all unravels.
Definitely. Wasn't an ideal day for KDB, obviously, but at the end of the day, congratulations to the Cuba Abi, who's gotten his first win in the league in perhaps his first race, and Mr. Vex on another podium. Brilliant stuff. And UK, what a day he's had. he's in my eyes. He's won today. He's been the biggest winner of today.
And KDB and NV will be looking back at this and going into the last race of the short F2 season. I think KDB and NV probably want to bring it home. KDB is definitely looking like in contention for the championship, and we'll have to look before the next race, and we'll provide you with the updates for the championship standings. For the time being, folks, I think that's about it. And race concluded, and we are done. So any last words from our fellow commentators here and comment section? Anything else you guys want to say before we end the stream? Please make sure to hit the like button, follow as well, and subscribe to the channel, and we will bring you more content every week. And if you're interested to join as well, please leave us a message here, and our host, our big boss, you'd say, Sarthak, will sort it out for you. All right, so yep, I guess that's the end.
Yes, that is, and it was great being here, Dalvin. I may not be here next week because our boy Sarthak will be back, but all the same, it was a good experience.
Yep, thank you to our fellow commentators, Richu, who gives us the race updates from time to time, and also Gouts for being my partner here in the comms box today. Thank you everyone as well. Thank you Sarthak from the comms, from the comments, for providing some tips on how to hide some stuff on the onboards, and appreciate everyone's support. And we will be back next week for another stream, another race for the Bwoah Racing League race number 4 or 5. Should be race number 5.
5.
Okay, so yeah, I just got the banner here a bit wrong. It says race number 3, but it doesn't matter. Race number 3 or number 4, we had an interesting one. So stay safe, folks, and see you in the next one. Take care.
Definitely. Until next time.